Let me know to the soul.
Yeah, you think it's what? Used to roll with niggas that took me out with rubber. Dream was living life. I had no life in jeopardy. And I know my father wants success for me. But that Jesus take a real straight to ecstasy. Remember running with brother, even though we did the wrong thing. My life would have been a lot different if I put up under God's way. Was too sincere for a wicked pain. Sing the Lord's name. Now we afflicted with pain on that apple morning. Was to be respected by stand up niggas. Not knowing that no handcuffs custom made the fight. Was to be a gangster. Little did I know I wasn't dangerous. Decisions that I made were fucking Lord's anger. Prayed to her all the time and I was just a stranger. Alright. Being gangster. Little did I know I wasn't dangerous. Decisions that I made were fucking Lord's anger. Prayed to her all the time and I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. I ain't lying, I was close to dying. Knew I wanted to live, but I wasn't trying. I wasn't trying, not knowing that this ain't how we live. It's just how they decide. You're trying to win the streets, you get more addicted. It ain't no tape, won't be on papers. Ain't no restrictions. My father said my heart had to make a soul dance. I didn't care, I wanted freedom when I walked past. In the place where the black man's blood is seen. I thank the Lord for the day I was on that street. You know you got power with the gas yours. Get out of here. They said now they 50-50 what's gonna come to pass. Their Lord called me out the world. It's alright. It was a big gangster. Look, it's one more truck. farm so I can make my own. But I don't even want to put no money into it. Into their shenanigans. I swear they do too much. Sorry, what you I appreciate it. I know I've done it before. I didn't check my notes behind it, but I tried to do it right before I came here. I was like, I see where I messed up too. Sorry.
All right, clap it up. Shout out to the brothers, Lashawan, shout out to the sisters. This is Israel's Universal Practical Knowledge. I'm here in Durham, North Carolina. This is the Lashawan, Qadash. Let me just put this up just a little bit, Salakia. Make sure everybody can see it. That's a little bit better. Most High in Christ. Yamazar, you the man, bro. Count. Right, I was saying, so yeah, Israel School of Universal Practical Knowledge out here in Durham, North Carolina. This is the Friday night language class, the Lashawan Qadash. Okay, about to get into, you know what I'm saying, this aspect of our culture as per usual. Yamazar, you want to hit me up with the scriptures? You know what I mean? Take your time to get there, brother. But it's essential right now, right? It's essential for us to remember what we're doing here. You know what I'm saying? The importance of our, like, how do I say it? We always talk about getting away from their customs, right? Like getting away from the things that they taught us to do. They taught us Christmas, which you know is a lie according to the Bible, right? To celebrate that. They taught us Thanksgiving. They taught us birthdays, and we readily accepted it. And now we saying what? Get away from that, and let's start caring about our actual culture, like that Passover that's coming up. Right. You understand? That 51st annual Passover that will be taking place, you know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of time. But those are the kind of things that we have to start doing. We have to start treating each other different, talking to each other different, right? It's not in our nature, it's not our culture as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to hate each other. That's literally not our culture. That's somebody else's culture. In their culture, they hate Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, so what do? We do exactly what they do. Understand? But that's not who we are, right? So in addition to that, we have to also adopt customs of, you know, how our speech patterns, how we talk different. You know what I'm saying? How we dress. You know what I'm saying? We got to start to dress according to our culture. A lot of our sisters in the world, they dress like what? They dress American, right? They dress immodestly because that's what they're taught to do. Right. Our brothers do the same thing, right? But not in here. In here, we're going to get back to being who we're supposed to be. All right? So give me Zephaniah 2:1 first. And give it up.
I was reading one today, if you don't mind, but let me get Zephaniah first. Jeremiah 17:4.
Okay, get Zephaniah first. Let me see what you said. You said Jeremiah what?
17:4.
Okay, let me see. Go ahead and read that.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together.
The Bible said, right? This is a commandment. This is not an option. This is not a maybe. This is not a kind of. So read it from the top.
Gather yourselves together. Mm-hmm. Yea, gather together, O nation, not desire.
Ooh.
O nation, not desire.
It's no, I mean, right now, they saying that they have pinned the tail, right? They pinned the tail on the donkey. They're trying to make it seem like it's black people, right? They have now used us as the scapegoat for COVID-19. Can you imagine this? Like a month ago, who was getting blamed?
Chinese.
Moab, right? We see it with our own eyes. They was eating bats. We seen it. If I'm not mistaken, it's like confirmed that that's where it started. Right. But somehow they're making blacks and Hispanics the face of COVID-19. You should have known it was going to happen, right? Because, of course, we're the ones working in the menial jobs that they don't want. So we're the essential workers, right? That's all it is. All it is that they're in a bunker somewhere under their house in a garage or whatever, or a basement. Shalom, right? And we're where? We're in the hospitals. We're in the doctor's offices. We're in the McDonald's. We're in the Burger King. We're in the I'm 12 right now. We're in the places where we're more susceptible to get this disease. You understand? And so that's why it's happening. But they made us the face of it because we're from the top.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation, not desire.
We're the nation not desire. Anytime they can find an excuse to say that we're the dirtiest, we're the ones you got to stay away from, we're the ones with this, we're the ones with that, that's what they're going to do. Right. You understand? Read on.
Verse 2. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff,
right.
Before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you.
Right. It makes the Lord angry that we're not gathered together.
That's right.
It makes him actually upset that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians fight one another, hate one another, kill one another, steal from one another.
Right.
He hates everything about it. He hates that we don't know our language. He knows what happened, right? Of course, he orchestrated it. But he hates that we don't come together in brotherhood the way we're supposed to. What's the scripture say? How good it is to dwell together, right? That's how it's supposed to be, right? But that's not how we are right now. We were commanded to come together. And he said, "Oh, nation." A nation is comprised of a people who have a common what? A common ancestry and language. A common ancestry, a common language, a common culture.
Damn right.
This is the culture of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
That's right.
You understand? And so that's why it's crucial that we get back to it. I'm not gonna have you get the other one for now, but for first things first, do a quick review if I may. But no, you just bring the other scripture. That one is to why. You can bring that. Y'all don't have this because I don't think y'all was in class. But if y'all want to just take a picture of it real quick, you know what I'm saying? This is the table of nations. We can actually have a printout of this, so you don't even really need to take a picture of it.
You got a printout of it now?
Well, I have a document that I can print out and pass out. So yeah, we can actually do a printout of this. The first 6 nations, of course, we did the week before. You know what I'm saying? But I'll make sure to get that. No, I'm 12.
Nice.
No.
You 12 on strong, you 12 on ice.
Oh no, do want some strong. It's 12 on ice.
Okay,
that's what I get. Do want some strong. Oh shit. Everybody 12 though? So how's that? Anything crazy going on? I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, but anybody want to bring out real quick before we jump into this review?
Go tell me the other day.
Go ahead.
Man, Trump, I know you heard.
What's up?
This retarded bastard. Like, even if his own people can't defend him, but
Right.
he said that we should ingest or have disinfectant like Lysol injected into us since it killed the virus. He actually said that, big guy. I know it's hard to believe that somebody would say something like that.
Right.
It really is. He said that shit, man. We should, in a press conference,
Should be first.
we should not. We should be first.
Like Lysol, disinfectant
I guarantee you.
into our bloodstreams. This is what he said.
He said it. I guarantee if you go on TV, they can talk about it all day. Once he said it.
That's something. No sweat. I'm not shocked.
That is the craziest thing I heard in all week.
Right. Go ahead and read that scripture, brother.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4.
Right.
And thou, even thyself,
Oh, this is a good one. The water, brother.
shall discontinue.
Shall what?
Discontinue.
What does it mean to discontinue?
To halt or to stop or
To
go
halt
away
or
from.
to stop. We used to, back in the day, we used to call that like a discontinued basketball, right? That's not really an actual NBA call. You know what I'm saying? But if you were like basically a carry, we would call it a discontinue. You can't pick up your dribble and then keep going. So it said we would do what?
That thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
Right. We're going to discontinue from our heritage. So we had it, and then we didn't have it. We discontinued from our heritage, right? In this sense, heritage mostly is referring to your land, right? Where you come from. Has anyone in here ever been to Israel? Ever? Never, right? We've all, you know what I'm saying, some of us might have grown up in the Caribbean. We've been all over America, New York, California, North Carolina, you know what I'm saying, Atlanta, Georgia, all over the Western Hemisphere, right? But we've never seen our homeland. We literally discontinued from our heritage. How many people knew any Hebrew words before they came to the Isupk? Please, shalom. Which I'm gonna ask again. How many people knew any Hebrew words before they came into the Isupk?
Shalom.
Which means what? No, exactly. But no, a lot of people did hear shalom and shalom and think that was Hebrew, and they found out when they came to hear that is, of course, not true. Right. Those words are our words. You know what I'm saying? But we've been discontinued from our heritage. Keep going.
That I gave thee, and will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
To do what?
Cause thee to serve thine enemies.
We're serving our good buddies.
Thine enemies.
We're just serving, you know what I'm saying, George.
Thine enemies.
Yeah, our enemies, you know.
In the land, not.
In where?
In the land which thou knowest not.
In the land which thou knowest not. Everybody knows how we got here, right? Got here on cargo slave ships.
That's right.
That is an actual fact. And the Bible prophesied that that's how we were going to end up here. Any more on that?
For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
Right. We made the Most High angry.
Right.
You understand? And understand the context here. When the Most High says forever here, he just means a long time. Right. Think about this. Please.
People say they kids all the time. Like,
right. 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 And the kids, because guess what? You say that. Why? Because you want them to actually think that they might be grounded forever.
Right.
Because then they ain't gonna do it. You're like, no, I can't do that. Because they said I'm gonna be grounded till, you know what I'm saying, 1,000 years. I can't have that. Right. So that's what it is. It's like, you won't be mad at you forever. Right? But of course, he also gave us a promise that what? That if we turned away from our wickedness, that he would get back in our good graces. You know what I'm saying? He would look upon us again. He wouldn't turn his back on us. Right? So that's what we're doing. We discontinue from our heritage and we get back to it. So now, we're going to do a quick review before we get into the meat of the class. We're going to talk about simple sentences and verbs. Basically how verbs work in our language. It's actually quite simple. And so sometimes it can get complicated, but just know that our language is better than English. So if you can speak English fluently, this is going to be a breeze for you. So I need my trusty, I need the scribe, I need my
honored
the water. Right? So what we're going to do is, let's just start out with, let's do the ancient first. Let's do the ancient first, right? And then we're going to jump to the Assyrian afterward. But I want to make sure that everybody's well versed in this ancient. Oh, this brother ain't even got that picture. Good night. Most High Christ. That's my brother right there. Right. Sis, you got
No.
Oh, Mario, we got more. We should have more copies of the. No, we actually should have the big ones. Will we get copies of the?
yeah, we got copies.
No, please pass those out, brother. Why? Yes, sir. Make sure everybody gets one, brother. The water.
Oh. Oh, damn, I forgot.
You too hard, that one right here. You can do it.
Oh, hold on, it's up there.
Oh yeah, you can do that too. Do that.
Yeah. I'm writing it in. I've been reading the Assyrian all week. I was writing it in Assyrian.
No sweat.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Whoa. Backwards, brother.
Oh. Salakia.
You know, the reason why I knew is because you said it the right way out loud.
But
Out loud, you said I saw, but then you wrote it backwards. Come on, Son of Christ. There it is.
Wow.
Mhm. Too hard, brother. Boom. Jump down right here under the eye for the next couple ones.
And Qua, Ra, Shah, and
Most High Christ, give that brother a hand. All right, now. So, let's see. We'll get Yanazar if you could first, right? We're gonna give everybody a chance, right? I want you to go first. Pause nice and slow so everybody can hear it. They can hear the pronunciation of each letter, all right? So you can go ahead.
A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Tza, Qua.
Sloppy, sir.
Please.
Is Ka missing? After y'all?
Come. She called me, look at that. The ka is missing. So you got the ka, but you're missing the ka.
Oh, right, that's right.
Yeah.
Most High in Christ says, thank you.
No, sir. Yeah, the ka comes right after the ya. So in between, so
Sloppy, sir.
please.
Most High in Christ, no, that's right.
So the Ka should be after the Ya. So the Ya is the one that looks like the. Okay, that is
That's
the right
a
one.
ya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ka, sir.
That's correct. So go back from the ka.
The Ka,
Right.
Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Tza, Qua, Ra, Sha, Fa.
Most High in Christ. Now, who else wants to give it a stab? Now, since I know you haven't done it yet, so I'm gonna save you for last, right? Because I know you haven't even attempted it yet. Is this correct?
You're correct.
No sweat. Sis, would you like to give it a stab first? I mean, after the brother? You want to go ahead and
What, to try to write it?
just
or
say it
to
out loud?
Oh, okay.
Just run it on down.
A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sha,
Salakia.
Sha.
La. That's where you got, because you
That's
actually.
why I was when I was spelling my name.
Right.
Concert. Salakia. Sa.
Most High in Christ.
Okay. Sa. I. Pa. Tza. Qua. Ra. Sha. Tha.
Most High in Christ. Give her
Most
a hand. I'm gonna write right here. I'm going to, you might hear me use this word often. I'm going to use the transliteration. All that means is that I'm taking this symbol, you know what I'm saying, represents a sound in Hebrew, and I'm converting that sound to English letters. So that's what I mean when I say transliteration. This sound, this is the how I write that in English. What sound it makes is by using English letters here. So we're gonna write the transliteration. One. Now this cha right here, again, is, you know what I mean? It's a little, I hate to keep saying it, but I gotta say pause on it. There's a little throat action going on. It's not too intense, but it's there. It's the cha, right? And you got the ta, you got the ya. This one is the straight up ka, strong. La, that's that L. That L in English comes from this letter. Ma, the M comes from here. Na, right? And the sister got tripped up a little bit because this is not the sha, this is sa. It's like it. Just bring this down a bit. This is sa. I, pa, to za. We got the qua, ra. This is the sha, and then tha. So for your name, sis, I believe it will be like that.
Constant.
Kaya.
And there's still a space
So why?
between it?
There is a space. Asha, Kawan.
So you write it backwards?
Okay,
Mhm.
sir.
We'll get to, as you can see, yes, it's backwards. But it's actually, no, it's not backwards. Salakia. English is backwards.
That's right.
It's not backwards. English is backwards.
But you write from right to left.
From right to left. In fact, most languages, most older languages, especially Semitic languages, the writing is from right to left. It's mostly only Indo-European languages where you write from left to right. If you look at, say, like Sanskrit, Arabic, what you say? Right, Aramaic, even I think some of the Chinese languages, they don't write from left to right. They write from right to left. So that's actually more common, please.
And they use hieroglyphics.
And they use hieroglyphics, which are symbols. Now, what we use they're not called hieroglyphics, they're called pictographs, which means that each one of these, like this is supposed to be an ox head. Each one of these is supposed to represent an actual thing in the world, please.
That Adam and saw when he was
Right, that Adam had seen. What is this?
That actually has the pictographs on
Oh,
there.
snap. This
Let me
is
see anything.
diligent. Most High in Christ. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that, make sure to confirm, but a lot of these do look correct. Like I said, like I know the I is an ox. Ka, the door, yep, the da. Yeah, these look mostly correct. But I'll have a look at it. But Tawab says that's Tawab's job. That's Tawab. Right? But yeah, so it's written from right to left. I'm glad you asked that question, sis. And then of course, I'll use, if you don't mind me, sis, I'm gonna use your name as an example so the sister can see the connectors. And how it works is to know whether or not you fully pronounce a certain letter, you use connectors. So in the sister's name is Asha Kawan. So it would be it's a full syllable. Then this is connected. It forms one syllable. Asha is connected. That means you drop the vowel here because this is a ha. So it's sha, ha, right? But we're dropping the vowel at the end and connecting it with the consonant before. So it's asha, then you're the same thing. Ka, one. Not ka, wa, na, ka, one, because it's connected. All right? But we'll get to that. So now, the sisters went through it, no sweat. My quad, my brother. You can run it down for me real quick.
A, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ka, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, a, pa, ta, za, ka, ra, sha, ta.
Well, one thing with that qua, you got to put that wa in it. Qua. Most High in Christ. That's what makes you my qua and not my ka. You know what I'm saying? Most High in Christ. Give him a hand. So, and the same thing. That's how we know where to put the emphasis on certain sounds. Correct if I'm spelling your name wrong, bro. But I believe in ancient it would be, right? Ma, I, qua. Ma, I, qua. My qua. Right? And that's how that works. Most High in Christ. Everybody, I can't forget about my brother. You know, go ahead, Mario. Please.
Ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ka, ta.
I like it.
Ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, za, kwa, wa, ra, sha, ta.
Most High in Christ. All right. So that's the basics of it. It goes from right to left. Those are the sounds. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna erase this and I'm gonna get my brother now to do the Assyrian. You said you've been reading the Assyrian, correct?
Yeah, I've been reading this.
Most High in Christ. So now give me the Assyrian in the same place down here where you have the ancient. So they can see very easily how the letters, coincide with one another. Again, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it is imperative. I know some of y'all, it's new to y'all. So I mean, it's important that we get a basic understanding of these letters so we can start reading. So as far as the Assyrian, does anybody know why we have two separate, letter systems? Why do we call one ancient and why is the other one called Assyrian? Please, sis.
It's because we were taken into captivity.
We, Most High in Christ. That's exactly what it was. We were taken into captivity, right? And our language started to go through a little bit of morphology where we're adopting a different, same language, it's spoken the same, but how we're writing everything kind of started to transform slowly but surely. It's on that chart that you have, I think, shows it. It didn't just happen instantly. It kind of happened over time. We were in captivity for some time. Remember, this is the Assyrian Empire, right? This is not just a place we went one time and now. This is an empire that lasted hundreds of years. And over time, started to write like them. And this is how languages work. You know what I'm saying? They're always changing. They're always being, manipulated in different ways based on where people go, based on where people are. You may have the same letter system, but then you have a different pronunciation from somebody because they live in a different region, right? So it's the same thing we kind of do. Understand? But make no mistake about it, the language that we're learning in this class, Lashawan Qadash, is the original Hebrew. Right. This is going back, way back, right? In the time of Moses and before. This other scripture calls it what? The language of the tongue of angels. Right. You know I'm saying, Lord, speak with the tongues of men and of angels. This is the language that angels speak, right? When they communicate with the Most High. When the Most High give them orders, you know what I'm saying? They don't say yes, sir. They say, Khan, I don't want to come. You understand? Most High in Christ. Brother's penmanship is incredible. Khan. I think that bottom part goes up a little bit though. Cool. No, actually, no, you too. That's why. Let's take your time, brother. Get down. So like, I'm gonna do that on this side, under the eye, so that way it matches what you did on the top. You see what I'm saying? So erase the qua from right there and put it over on this side. Yeah. Yeah, I just want the sister to be able to see where it's the same letter. The water. Sha. Tha. Boom. Most High Christ. Get it up the hand. Well done. So now, as you can see, it represents the same letters. You got A, Ba, Ga, Da, Salaki, if my handwriting isn't too suave, Za, Ka. Remember, always remember that difference, right? This is a much softer sound. Ka, right? But again, I don't want you to, don't put too much emphasis on it. I always say it. Do not go up to Captain Katazar and be like, Captain Katazar, Shalom. Don't do that. Just say, Captain Katazar. It's softer. Katazar. Right? And then you got Ka. Like when you're saying, if I say thy name, Shamka, it's much more harsh. You got the La, the Ma, the Na, looks like a funny 3. Sa, I, Ha, Za, Wa, Ra, Sha, Tha. All right, sis, ready to give it a go?
For me?
Yeah. It's written in English,
Yeah.
so just go ahead and take some. Start from right. Mm-hmm.
Ba. Ga. Da. Ha. Wa. Za. Ka. Ta. Ya. Ka.
Yep.
La. Ma. Na. Sa. I.
Mm-hmm.
Ha. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Za.
Perfect.
Da.
No, drop down over here.
Oh.
Yeah, drop down to the right.
Wa.
Yep.
Ra. Sha. Ka.
La.
Wait, don't tell me. Da.
Most High Christ. Give him a hand. Well done. Well done. Beautiful. Please.
I forgot to put those letters there, change that.
That's just what I was about to do. Right?
I think I know them now.
Okay. If you want to go ahead and go for
I
it,
tried.
please. Now, what the brother's talking about is that with the Assyrian, there's about 4 letters that are written different at the end of a word, right? So when they're at the end of a word, they're not written with their original symbol. They have a separate symbol for when they're at the end of the word, right? No.
Let's get them.
Count. That's it. What's that curse? From A. No, this is Tuab. Ma is actually Tuab. It's just this one I want to fix.
Okay.
This one looks like a question mark. The Na. Like the Na. Another word. Just like that.
Come on.
Right. Remember the Ma's like a 3. Right? Or just taking it, just pause me. The Ka, the Ma, the Na, the Pa, and the Tazah. At the end of the word, they look a tad bit different. Hope you check something real quick. Most High Christ. So let's get some. Let's see. How should I do this? Let's write a common word. And let's see. I'm gonna write it up here in the ancient. And let's see if these sisters, right, and these brothers can figure out some of these words. So here's a common. All right. So that's one word. You want to know what that word is, and let's write something in a different word, not the same word. Let's do this. All right. Stab at it. Please, young son, Just give me one of them. Unless somebody else get a chance to go.
Okay, I'll take the bottom.
Please.
Adawan.
Adawan, which means what?
Sir.
Count. It's just a word. It's just a recognizing of authority, right? So it's like sir, right? Even master. But what did we say before? Master does not mean slave master. Otherwise, there would be no word slave master, right? Master means teacher. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have a school master. If anybody's ever watched Harry Potter, what is Dumbledore's title? Anybody know? Y'all never watched Harry Potter?
No.
Damn.
I watched it.
He's the headmaster.
He's the headmaster.
Headmaster.
He's the headmaster. He's the head teacher. Right? That's what that means. So the brother said, this is Adawan. That is absolutely correct.
So what is that little thing that you put in the front?
Where? Oh, this thing?
Yeah.
No, this is a dash.
Okay.
This is a dash, so you just separated the word from the English. That's all. There's nothing meaning.
Okay.
Please. So you want to take a guess what this word is? It's very simple. You just got to sound it out. Just find each letter. You got the whole alphabet here, and know that if this is under it, then you pronounce it in that whole letter fully. So just as an example, let's say, what's the word I can use?
Oh, shalom.
Most High Christ, give her here. Simple. Shalom. Right? It means peace. Very simple. All right? Let's see what else we got. So how about this one? Most High Christ. You got it. You on the roll?
I can't find the thing. Con?
Which means what does con mean?
Yes.
It means yes. Most High Christ. Right? So that's all it is. It's very simple. And there are different times, we've done it in other classes, right? But there are times where you have to know, like, okay, I'll give you like this one. Let's see. If I say, what is that word? Please.
Amaria. Amarwa.
Amar.
I'm a wa.
Say it again.
I'm a wa.
Uh-huh.
Amar. Wa.
You had it right that time, yeah. This is Amarwa.
Amarwa.
Now, what's this word? Please.
Waya Amar.
What does Waya Amar mean?
Is that a woman?
Wow. For now, don't worry about this one.
Okay.
Just tell me what this one means. What does that word mean? Remember what you said about Amar. Now tell me what this word is. You said it's Waya Amar. That is true. Remember? You remember what we went over? Talk about roots. Give me Genesis chapter 1 and verse 1. We're gonna start there with the second phase of the class, right? I'm on it. So now, since now that you're on the formula of words, you gotta know that sometimes, just like in English, right? You know a word, but what's around the word? Pronouns, adverbs, adjectives, and things like that. Our language, we need to know all the things that go around words so we can know how to pronounce it better. You understand what I'm saying? So go to Genesis chapter, if you can, I suggest you go to blueletterbible.com, if you can, to go look it up so that way you can see the Hebrew, right? Yanazar, when you get it, go ahead and read it.
You want me to read it in Hebrew?
No, well, brother, if you could do that, I'd be impressed. But
Let's read it in English first.
come, let's read it in English first.
In the beginning, the Most High created the heavens and the earth.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Verse 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And verse 3. And the Most High said, let there be light.
Right now. Read verse 3 again for the top.
And the Most High said,
We doing?
let there be light. And there was light.
Right now. Does anybody know what the Hebrew word for speak is or to say? Come on. Most High in Christ, give him a hand. That is the Hebrew word. The Hebrew word for to say is amar. Right? So in ancient it would look like, here's the beauty of the ancient, right? I got the connector so you don't have to guess.
Right.
But you have, with the Syrian, you have to be familiar with the context in order that you say it correctly. Because what you might do, now if we look at it in Hebrew, that's Genesis chapter 1 and verse 3. It says, I'm going to read it in Hebrew. It says, Waya Amar Alahayim Yahaya Awar. Wayahaya Awar. That's what it says in Hebrew. The first word is Waya Amar. The root word is Amar, which means to say. And it says, and the Most High said. But this is what we're going to kind of learn about in the second half of our language today. It's not like English. It's less ambiguous and it's really straightforward. It cuts right through. So in English, you say, and God said such and such. In our language, not really. In our language, it's almost kind of backwards from what you're used to. So Waya Amar is a collection of a root word or verb and two suffixes. This wa means and this ya is he. So it's saying, and he said. So you have to know the root and not go waramar or something like that. You would probably do that if you didn't know any better. You would try to connect this as one word because it's written as one word. I'll show it everybody real quick. If you were reading the Tanakh, you would see it as such right at the beginning. Waya Amar at the beginning, and you may try to make that one word. Waya Amar, right? But if you know the root word, then you know that these are separate. None of these are connected. All right? Waya Amar. And that's important to know. So again, with the ancient, we have the benefit of these connectors. La, because we have la and ah. Very simple. Every time it's going to look like that. All right? Before we jump back to that, we're going to use those scriptures real quick to kind of talk about verbs in just a second. Let's see. Let me start to see a couple other words real quick. Let me see. How about this one? And then let me see, about this one. Not you, young, so I wanna see somebody else take a stab at these, man. What's the one on the top in the ancient set? Sis? Remember those connectors, all those connectors do is tell you, all right, the second letter, I'm not gonna pronounce the vowel after it. So just, if I got, let's see. Okay, this word, I believe this means blood in Hebrew. Dumb is a connector. This, you know that this is a ma,
Yeah.
but it doesn't say dama. It would if this wasn't here. If it was like this, that would be dama. But they're connected.
So what would that be?
Dom. 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 Da and ma. So now knowing that, you can connect these letters just the same.
I don't think I'm ready for that.
Think about it. I'm telling you, it's a lot more simple than you making it. I'll help you out.
Yes, please.
It's one of the 12 tribes.
By, Benjamin.
Close. Help out, help out. How you say it? Anybody?
Am I saying it wrong?
Banyam.
Banyam. Yeah. Which means what?
Tribe of Benjamin.
Khan, that's what it translates to. What is the meaning of this word? Of this phrase?
The son.
Mm-hmm. Ban means son. Hebrew Academy graduate know what this next word is. Son of what? What is yum yum? I'll give you a hint. It's not. What's the other one? Shamal. Shamal is what? Anybody? Shamal is what?
What's the word again?
Shamal. I don't expect y'all to know.
I have a question.
Please.
I should know this, but I don't normally ask questions. So all of the tribes, the words, like how all that stuff has a deeper saying or meaning.
Every single one has a meaning. Yep, it's not just a name, it's not just there for show. Everyone has a meaning. Like the one we're talking about right now, I'll give it to you for time's sake. It means right or right hand. Yum yum. So yum yum is, in like in English you say going right or you going left. Yum yum is right. Shamal is left. Right? So if I say Shamal saw, that means turn left. If I say yum yum saw, that means turn right. So Bun Yum Yum means son of the right hand. Right? That's what Bun Yum Yum means. You can see that in all of the different things here. It breaks down the name and what it means. Right? Okay. So Bun Yum Yum. And what's this word?
No lie.
Oh, you was asking me?
Anybody.
Oh.
This one right here. It's a little more difficult because, of course, you know what I'm saying, there's no connectors. Please.
Yahweh.
Most High Christ. Yeah. It's Yahweh. Which is another one of the 12 tribes, the tribe of Judah. That's Yahweh. All right? So, now, everybody got these letters and everything down?
For the most part.
Hmm?
For the most part.
Yeah, you can hold on to that paper so you can keep that. So everybody should pretty much have this. Now, we're going to talk about how the structure of a sentence is. So I want somebody to look up. I need to do that yet. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. You can't do it for sure. Or Mike Wall, whichever one. Look up, what is the word? Auxiliary verbs. An auxiliary verb. This is going to be something that shows the major difference between English and how Hebrew works.
You said auxiliary verb?
Auxiliary verb. Yep, that's the one.
I got it out.
Go ahead and read it.
Auxiliary verb. A verb used in forming the tenses, moods, and voices of other verbs.
Another definition?
Verb helps man. The main verb, and it's also called a helping
Yeah,
verb.
read that one.
An auxiliary verb helps the main full verb
Uh-huh.
and is called a helping verb.
Mhm.
With auxiliary verbs, you can write sentences in different tenses, moods, or voices.
Right.
Auxiliary verbs are be, do, have, will, shall, would, should, can, could, might, may, must, ought, etc.
There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of auxiliary verbs. So to make it short, what the brother just said, auxiliary verbs are those verbs where it's there, but you don't really need it. You know what I mean? It's like saying, let's see, if I'm doing something, okay, I can say something like, I have washed the clothes. I did wash the clothes. The verb there is washed. I washed it, right? But then there's always this word that I can use to kind of let you know I've already done it, or I'm doing it right now, or something like that. So an auxiliary verb, or saying, or even like this, like a sentence like, what's the action that I'm performing here? Going. That's the action that I'm doing. This is also a verb, though. This is the verb to be, right? To be, and it's conjugated in obviously the I form. So I am going. But what I'm doing is the going part. But this is just being used to let you know I'm currently doing it. You know what I'm saying? But it's an auxiliary verb. So the reason why I'm bringing this out is to say this. Hebrew doesn't really have this for the most part. Again, you'll see it at times, but it is very, very rare. It's very rare that you'll see kind of one of those just additional verbs. You know what I'm saying? And even when it comes to conjugating, we don't conjugate our verbs in the same way. So right now I'm writing Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 in Hebrew, right? We already read it, but we're going to use it real quick to see how we work with these verbs, so we can start formulating really simple sentences. Shabbat. Oh, yes. This is try. You want to take a stab at the first word, man? Let's see what that word is.
Bara,
Please.
Bara'a, Wayafa,
You were close, but you added more letters than you needed.
Waifa, Wafa,
Not a wa,
Yafa, Ya.
not a tha, it's connected. You wouldn't know that, but that's, see, the root word here is the word rashayaf, which means the beginning of something. The ba is a prefix that means in. So the ba, so it's in, and you notice there's no definitive article. There's no ha like the. So it's really in beginning. Literally, that's what it's saying. In beginning, or in start, in beginning. This word right here, bara'ah, means to make. Now read it in English, Genesis 1:1.
In the beginning, the Most High created the heavens and the earth.
Now notice it doesn't say in the beginning, Most High created. That's not how what it says. It says in the beginning. This means create. And then notice, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not even conjugated. There's no conjugation. It just means to make or to create. In beginning, create. Then it says Allah, the Most High, right? Well, actually, here it's really powers, but we'll say the Most High, right? Because it's his. It's the body, right? It's the Most High and his angels. So and it'll almost be like saying, Commander Junior Honda and Isupk, right? Everything we do, he does it. Commander Junior Honda had a food driving shop. Commander Junior Honda, you know what I'm saying, did this or did that. He does it through us, right? So that's when you see Elohim, it's a plural word that means powers, but it's talking about things the Most High is doing. So in the beginning, create the Most High. This is a really an unused word, but we'll get to it.
Is that a thought?
That's af. It's not a thought, right? A thought would be you. It's not a thought. And it says, in the beginning, create the Most High. Then it says, ha. Does anybody know what the ha means at the beginning of the word? So I'm going to tell you right now, this is a prefix, right? This is a prefix going, please. The, O Son of Christ. It means the. The Shamayim. What does Shamayim mean? Shemayim. It's a little bit of a different emphasis. A lot. It's Shemaya.
The heaven.
That's it. The heaven. And notice it says Shamayim. Right? It's heavens.
That's
Right. And see, you getting it, brother. Shabbat Shemayim. Right? The heavens. Why? So this is really like, this is just coming before this. So you can almost look at this af and this ha as one thing. You don't have to have that to say it, but oftentimes af comes before the what's called the definite article or the. So wa, af, ha. So this is really and the, which means
the earth.
The earth, which means earth. Now notice, if we read this in English, in beginning create the Most High the heavens and the earth. It sounds kind of crazy, right? It doesn't sound, where's the conjugation? This is the root word, bara'ah. There's no, we didn't change it or anything. It just literally says, in the beginning, create the Most High, the heavens and the earth. So, I brought that out to say this. when you're forming a sentence in Hebrew, you don't have to do what you do in English as much. You don't have to create it. He created. He shall do this. This, it's very simple. In the beginning, create. In the beginning, create the Most High, the heavens and earth. And a lot of times the subject precedes, it comes after the verb. Whereas in English, the subject comes before the verb. I'm saying, I ran. You go. In Hebrew, it's ran I. Go you. Right? So that's how that works. In the beginning, create the Most High, the heavens and the earth. Right? So now we jump down. Read Genesis chapter 1, verse 2.
And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep.
Right.
And the Spirit of the Most High moved upon the face of the waters.
The waters is talking about space, right? Read on.
Verse 3. And the Most High said,
Right.
Let there be light.
And the Most High said, let there be light. So another lesson in the simplicity of Hebrew in forming a sentence. This is how we're going to get a couple of verbs so we can just say basic, regular things. And I'm writing it in the Assyrian only because that's how it is when you read it in Tanakh. I'm saying, but of course it works the same way in the ancient. Slovakia. Whitney. Yeah. I'm sorry, Chris. Does anybody want to take a shot at reading that sentence? Come on, now. I know somebody can do it. It's a simple sentence. I'm telling you, y'all can do it. Yup. Most times, give her a hand. Give her a hand for being willing to give her a go.
Let him do it.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay, no sweat. Y'all know.
Waya Amar. Alahayim.
Mm-hmm.
Yaha. 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 Yaha.
Mm-hmm.
Awar.
Mm-hmm.
Awar.
You don't gotta roll that R, Yanzar, so much.
Okay.
I know you're used to speaking Spanish up in Harlem, but you you don't gotta say award. Just award. Yeah,
Award.
you're good.
Waya. Haya.
Mm-hmm.
Award.
Most High in Christ, give him a hand. That is absolutely perfect. Perfect. Now, what does that say? When I break down this sentence, you're gonna say, "Damn, that's why they call us. That's why they wanted to call us savages and say, man, they speak that real rough, tough language. It ain't pretty. It's not really, refined. This is the most rough sentence you've ever heard in your life, and it goes to show you the Most High, and it really represents the spirit of a black man, the spirit of a Hispanic man, the spirit of an Israelite man. How direct and to the point this is. Y'all ready? Y'all start read it in English.
And the Most High said, let there be light.
Mm-hmm.
And there was light.
Right. The Most High said, you can almost dance to it. And the Most High said, let there be light, and there was light.
Yeah.
Well, it really says, so the wise, and he said, the Most High, so the subject comes after the verb, and he said, the Most High, be light. Salakia.
And was light.
And was light. Is that simple? Haya, the Yahaya is the verb to be, right? And it's not conjugated here. Again, it's just be. So to be is that it was and that it will be. It's not like English where we say it was, will be, it is. In our language, it's just be. It is to exist. So it's like saying, and he said, the Most High exists light and existed light. It makes it so much more, how do I say it? Like the authority is here. Imagine like commanding Julian telling you get it done, and all of a sudden, poof, it's done. That's how the Most High worked with the angels, right? And he said, be or exist. And this is like, so this is like exist or be, or you know what I'm saying? To be is the best way. Light and was light. And there it is. So when we formulate a sentence, we have to keep these features in mind. You know what I'm saying?
Isn't that leaning to the side?
So with the camera?
Okay, I'm gonna go to the YouTube and check it out. See okay.
So like let me change the camera? Okay. So that's how we formulate these simple sentences, and that's how we use our verbs. It's not like English. So you have to get really familiar with the root form of them. So that way, when it's time to attach pronouns and attach adjectives and attach determiners and all of those things, you already know what to do. You know what I'm saying? As in the case right here. So Amar, for said, is not really conjugated. If I'm saying it right now, it's going to be the same as if I said it yesterday or if I say it tomorrow. But what will be important is the stuff around it that tells you, and he said, or who said it, right? And he said, the Most High. So if I wanted to say, and Yanazar said, I would say what?
Well, Amar, Yanazar.
Yup. Waya Amar, Yanazar, then whatever you say. Waya Amar, Dabawan, whatever I said. Waya Amar, Maquad, Mahayar, Shakuan, so on and so forth, right? A simple way to formulate a sentence. If you want to say, and this person performed this action, you say the verb first, then you say the person, and then you go forward, right? Waya Amar, the subject, right? And so on. And we're gonna get some more examples of this. All right? So y'all, could you just erase the screen up? We'll sign first. So I can do it 1 second. Okay, now, in some instances, when we're not addressing who it is, right, and this is still going into the conjugation of verbs, we don't need to do much at all. All we need to do is know the verb. So let's take a simple one. We'll say the verb to see, right? So we're learning the word today. I might want to write this down. Salakia. Here we go. Where's it at? Come. So to see is this. In the ancient Ra'ah. In the Syrian, same thing. Ra'ah. So we'll look at an example. So you can, Yamzar, if you can please, Babu Shah, go to, where is it at? Give me, so give me a second. Give me Genesis chapter 49 and verse 15. I'll read it from the top.
The book of Genesis. Oh, that's 50. Chapter 49, verse 14. Isupk is a strong ass couching down between two burdens.
Keep going.
Verse 15. And he saw that rest was good,
What are we doing?
and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute.
Most High in Christ. So the first part of the sentence says what?
Isupk is a strong man.
No, verse 15.
Oh, and he saw that rest was good.
And he saw that rest was good. The word rest, again, is ra'ah. In the Syrian, ra'ah. The first phrase of that sentence literally reads, wa ya ra'ah. Now the ha comes off here because of basically, it does change the root a little bit, but the pronunciation doesn't change but so much. So wa ya ra'ah is saying what? It's at the beginning of the sentence.
And he
what did he
saw,
do? And he saw.
and he saw.
That's it. That's the conjugation of the verb to see. And he saw. It doesn't even have his name because his name was already mentioned, right? So this is what's called like basically a pronoun, right? The ya, he. He. This is a conjunction. And he saw. So if I was to take, I could take any verb. So let's do a random verb, right? A random. Let me see. Let's take the verb to fall. You know, that's not. You know, you don't want to. You don't want a brother to fall, but. Okay, we'll do to give, right? So the verb for to give. Let's see if y'all can guess this one. I'm gonna give y'all the Assyrian first, so y'all can do it without the connected. What does that say? You got Yamzar?
Lafan.
Say it again.
Lafan.
Luff?
La fayan.
Show us a lot.
Nafan. Nathan.
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 Nathan. That's what it is. It's Nathan. Nathan. Which in English is what?
Nathan.
Nathan. Right? Nathan Nathun means to give. So if I wanted to say, and he gave, how would I say, and he gave? Or how would I just say, he gave?
Yanathan? Yanathan?
Oh, select. Raise your hand up. Say it again.
Yanathan?
Come. Yah. Son means he gave or he gives, right? Same difference. He gave or he gives. And if I'm saying it in continuation of something else, I'm going to say Wa Ya Nathan. And he gave, right? So let's see if we can find an example of the scripture, right? Please, Jonathan.
We read it today, Jeremiah 17 and 4.
Yeah, we did read in Jeremiah. Let me see.
17 and 4. He gave the territories that he gave us.
Come on, let's see. One second. You said that was in Jeremiah?
Yeah, Jeremiah was it 17 and 4.
Check. Might be a little bit different. But that's no sweat. Check it. Jeremiah chapter 13 and verse 4.
17.
It's like Jeremiah chapter 17. Actually, this one. Well, that says I gave.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That says I gave from thine heritage. Let me see. Shaw. Ratula. It's an answer a little bit different. Yeah. Because that's not he gave, it's I gave. I give. And I think it might be using a different verb.
Okay.
That's another thing to keep in mind too, that there's different verbs. For example, like we talk about like this word, right? To go. Like that's one of the top 10 most common verbs in English. This doesn't exist in English. There's no verb that just means to go, really. There's a verb that means to go down. There's a verb that means to go up. There's a verb that means to go in. But there is no just to go. There's even a verb that means to go walk. To go walking. Whenever we describe traveling somewhere, we describe, and that goes back to what I said before about auxiliary verbs, right? Because in English, I can say, I go walking. Well, the walking is the action. That's the verb. So the go is just there to just be there. And when in Hebrew, we would never say I go walking. We'd be like, I'm walking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was walking. It's as simple as that. So yeah, that Jeremiah scripture doesn't have it in this exact way. But I think that it depends on the situation because sometimes it can drop the knot, right? So it will become Wyatt Thun, right? That can happen sometimes, but Nathan is the root. Why Nathan he gave, right? And same thing we do with C and other words. So let's see. Let's get some more verbs in our repertoire. So who knows what the verb to speak is? We said say. The verb to say is amar. Amar. But there's a different verb to speak. Any guesses? I'll write it right here.
The bum?
La. If that was a na, it would come way, way down.
Oh, okay. So that's the bar.
Debar. Debar means to speak. Debar. Salah. To speak. Let me see something. We can find it. That is Hebrew word 1696. Please.
You got in the Assyrian to say you got the ancient R of Ra.
What you mean? Oh, the water.
I do that all the time.
The water, brother. The water. My mistake. So if you look up Debar, right, you can go in, if you got your phone, you can go to blueletterbible.com, right, and go to Hebrew word 81696, right, and it will tell you it's a primitive root. It means to speak, say, but yes, use less. It's more so to declare something. And we can see how it says. And if you go now, so I'll go to Genesis chapter 8 and verse 15, and we can see yet again the simplicity of formulating these basic sentences. Once we know just the root of the verb, it becomes simple. We can start using this in everyday speech.
8 and 15?
Yeah, Genesis 8 and 15. Genesis 8 and verse 15. I'm going to write it right here. It's a lot on the way. Write it in the Assyrian, because that's what, we got to read the Sabbath service. Again, Sabbath service going on tomorrow. If you can be here, please do so. It's an interesting sentence. I already know what it's saying. I'll write all the way across. I'll write it right here. So this one here. All right. Go ahead and read it in English, Yazor.
The book of Genesis, chapter 8, verse 13. And it came to pass in the 600th year, the 601st.
Verse, no, you can go from there as well.
And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry.
Right. So this is talking about Noah and the ark, of course. He had been on the ark, and the water was all that dried up after the flood. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 14. And the second month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, was the earth dry.
Keep going.
Verse 15. And the Most High spake unto Noah, saying.
That's it. So now, the verb to speak or to declare is debar. So somebody read the first, not Yanazar, I'm gonna give you a rest for a second. If somebody else can please just read the first. If they can read it all the way through, all sound in Christ. With the first phrase, what does that say? We've been saying it all night. Very simple. Just think the same thing we did when we were talking about the verb to see or to it's to see, right? Get out Genesis chapter 1 verse 3.
Does it start with da?
The word, the bar is the word for to speak. But that first word, what is that word? The bar is in it. Anybody? Y'all know.
While you're at the bar,
Keep going.
Alahayim, Allah or Al,
Al, Khan.
Al, Nak, Mar, Na'amar.
It's a lie, but I gotta get why you make that mistake.
Right.
It's
Na'amar.
La'amar. Right. So it says, while the bar, and he spoke, the Most High, I'll knock, to knock, right? That's when you see, because sometimes you see the ah and the la, you think it might be saying Allah as his power. So it's Al when it has that hyphen there with a name. It's saying that it was spoken to, right? Or for this person, right? So in English it says, and God spake unto Noah saying. So it does say that, but it says, it really doesn't say, and God spake. Literally it says, and he spoke, the Most High, to knock, saying, or to say. La amar, like to say, or in order to say. La at the beginning, it means like for or to, for this reason, right? So that's another example of that. The simplicity. Get those verbs down pat, so that way when you see them, you know automatically, okay, this is a verb that means this, and this other stuff around it is just kind of filling in the gaps, right? If we just saw the bar, we wouldn't know who's talking.
Sorry, could you speak that sentence again?
Why the bar alahayim al not la bar, right? Why ya the bar? The why is the conjunction meaning and. Okay, I'll write it down. So this is the end. And he spoke. So Noah's name in the ancient Hebrew is Knock. Right?
Yeah.
It's Knock. And he spoke to Noah, saying, okay? So that's simple. Okay? And now, let me see, we might do one more of these, and then we'll jump to just write down some more verbs. Very simple, keep it simple. You know what I'm saying? We can, again, like I said, we can start to use this. You know what I'm saying? I could be talking to my yard, talking about something, you know what I'm saying, Cap said, and I'd be like, why Amar, Captain I thought, right? I don't got the rest of it yet in Hebrew, but I'll get it. Don't worry. Right. One day, eventually I'll be able to say all that other stuff, and I won't need to say it in English at all. But for now, I know that to tell my yard that somebody said something, I didn't say, why Amar. I think for a sister it would be why thought Amar, right? But that's how I started. Then I tell them who it's talking about, who I'm referring to, who's the subject, and then I go and tell them what was said. So Salakia. I think I want to get another verb. Real quick, let me just check my notes. Second. Bear with me. Right? So here's another one. I erased saw, but remember saw was ra'ah. Ra'ah. Right, but that H that drops off, that ha drops off in the sentence, right? But in Genesis 41:22, it says, and I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up in one stalk, full and good, right? Literally begins, why? Now notice the difference. It says, why ra'ah. It doesn't say why ya ra'ah. Why does it say ah instead of ya here? If you want to go to Genesis chapter 41 and 22 and read it so you can see the difference. All day we've been saying why ya, right? And he, why ya amar, why ya devar. This one says why ra'ah. Why is that? You go ahead and read it, Yazan.
Oh, I didn't get to it yet.
Yeah.
Gotta do some dance. What was that again?
Genesis chapter 41 verse 22.
Forty-one and 32.
22.
22. Gone out of one. The book of Genesis, chapter 41, verse 22. And I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up in one stalk, full and good.
Right, it says, and I saw. So the difference here is simply in the pronoun. That's the change. But the root word, the verb hasn't changed. It's still ra'ah, but now it's not and he saw. Now it's and I saw. Right? The is I. In fact, I'll write it out real quick since you know what I'm saying, just to refresh your memory since I have it right here. So like real quick. So we got the ba, da, ka, la, ma, and sha. Right? So like whom, which, that. Ma is like of, from. La is to or for, like I said before. That's why when at the end of the other sentence it said la debar, I'm saying he said to or saying to. Right? Shamka, it was not Shamka, but ka is as or like. Ya is he. And is the wa. The ha obviously is the. These are prefixes. They go at the beginning of a word. Do, in, I, or I am. Right? These are prefixes slash prepositions slash pronouns. Right? So in the case of I saw, and I saw wa, ra, the is the I. Right? That's in the scripture straight up. So now, let's see. One second. Let's get get one more verb. We'll end out with just of the letters and repeat them real quick. So someone say something? Oh, Salaki. Bear with me. Who's that? I think this is the one. I think this is the one. Yep. Give me Genesis chapter 28, verse 5.
Twenty-eight, 5.
Count.
Sorry, correct. The book of Genesis, chapter 28, verse 5. And Isaac sent away Jacob, and he went to Paneram unto Laban, son of Bethuel, the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob and Esau's mother.
Right. So in this sentence, right, if you look it up, it says in Hebrew, it says, Yishalak, Yatazakah, right, which is Isaac's name, Yatazakah, Af, Yaquab, Yalak, Padanah, right? So to in this sentence, right, he went, or to go here is Yalak. Yalak. Oh, buddy. Yalak. And it says straight up, Yalak. And he went. In this particular case, the Yah, right? Because remember, we did the same thing with the other word where we had to drop the Ha at the end, and then the other one we dropped the letter at the beginning, right? Don't worry about it too much. It's Yalak, Yalak. And he went, right? He went to, I think it's Potter, what is it? Padanaram, right? And he went to Padanaram. So anytime we're using a verb, right, in that basic way, he went, she saw, he ran. It's just he verb. The point is there's no conjugation. There's no I run, you ran, she run, it went, you are, none of that. There's only one verb root that does not change. A letter might drop or something, but you're not going to have to change the spelling of it and conjugate it for a bunch of different situations. That doesn't exist. With the exception of the future tense, and we talked about that before, like in the case of like shamar, it's still going to be shamar, but if I say, I'm watching, it becomes what? Shalamar, right? But that doesn't happen most of the time. All right? So I'll leave this up here. Let's see, I want to get one more thing, and then we're going to start to close out and get the prayers and everything. You need what's this? Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see. I got my notes all over the place. Please bear with me. Stay here.
Right, count. Have to be like in the middle of the camera.
Don't sweat.
Count. Okay.
Don't sweat.
Count.
One more conjugation of.
You said no, especially like in the middle of the
In the middle.
yeah.
Count.
Like how you teach the class in school.
Oh, snap. Don't sweat. All right. So for the sake, we'll do this one. So Shamar again. Well, actually, no, we use speak, right? So you can say this. If I want to say I speak, we know the speak is the bar. The bar. In the ancient, it's bar. The word for I, right, it's anya. So it's anytime you just say I am doing something or I do it, right? In this particular case, I can use anya plus the verb to formulate just the basic sentence. It's more of an announcement, right? When I use anya, it's not the same as when I use use the I, right? Because if I could just say, I literally could just go the bar, and it would still make sense. I can say the bar, which means I spoke or I speak. But in this sentence or this way, it's a lot less emphasis on who's doing it. It's just let you know, yeah, I spoke or whatever. But if I say Anya the bar, now I'm bringing emphasis to the fact that it's me doing it. Right? So I can say Anya the bar. I can say Anya Shamar. I can say Anya, what's the other one we said? Say Amar. Right? Any one of those ways. But then you can also use the preposition or the prefix. It just depends on, you know what I'm saying, what really you're trying to get across at the moment. You'll notice a lot of times that when you see Anya, it's the Most High speaking. The Most High will use Anya to be very clear that it's him doing it. You know what I'm saying? We'll end up with that scripture. Give me that one where it says, I, even I. Let me see. That's in Genesis chapter 6 and verse 17.
The book of Genesis, Salakia, chapter 6, verse 17. Mm-hmm. And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth, mm-hmm, to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life, mm-hmm, from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die.
Right. So it says in the Hebrew, Wa'anya, Hananya, Mabaya Ath, Ha, Mabawal, Mayam, right? But it says the first word is Wa'anya, is this word, and I. And notice he said I, even I. It's bringing attention to the fact that it's him doing it and nobody else. You understand? But still, those verbs still play the same role. They don't really do too much. It's just there. I spoke. I guard. I said. Keep that in mind. Again, we can start to use all of these things more consistently. Just let them creep up into your speech, and you know what I'm saying, you'll be good. Okay? And also keep in mind these prepositions, right? And also, I don't want to get too far into it, but remember that the ka, right? You got the nawa, and what's the other one? The ya, right? So this is my, this is your, this is our. And these go at the end of words, right? So my name is Shamya, your name Shamka, our name Shamnawa, right? And that's so when you're reading it, you'll know not to say certain things. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much all it is. But next week, we're going to start to look at more complex sentences. We're going to try to build off of just knowing, like I said, the basic, if you know the verb, you can start to speak Hebrew. You can start to just say a regular thing. You can say, I go to the store. I went to the store. I spoke to Yanazar, so on and so forth. Next thing we want to do is start building off of that slowly but surely and creeping in some of those more complex things, figuring out, well, why does the letter drop here, so on and so forth. But with just some of these verbs that we went in on, right? And these, you can just start to speak a little bit of basic things. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we'll pick it up next week. But with that, I'll pass the class over to Police Officer Mahaya.
ISUPK security announcements. We're the ISUPK, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves to the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10. Means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashur. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations, of course, it's Passover. You know what I'm saying? Which is still going to be here. Y'all just, you know what I'm saying? Y'all just hanging there. You know what I'm saying? We'll get out there when the Lord wants us to get out there.
That's right.
Remind Agwaki, you know what I'm saying, to check the social media, such as isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, Amadium, which means to stand. Wapayaku don't, which means rise and face the